how do I prove that external objects exist? So somebody would tell, ordinary man will tell you, aren't you seeing me, my body? So Descartes says, of course I am seeing your body, but it is possible that I am only dreaming. Follow the logic. We are not at the ordinary level. We are into deep investigations into the matter. So Descartes says, you can deny, you can suspend your judgment, or you can doubt or deny the existence of anything. Perhaps this glass doesn't exist. I may be dreaming. I may be having an illusory perception. Just as I had an illusory perception when I perceive a rope for a snake. I have illusory perception. There is a mirage ahead and I see it for water. रात को कोई पेड़ होता है, there is a tree and I mistake it for some man, frightening man in dark. I get frightened, children especially. I may get frightened if I am not strong enough, right? As I am not. You may get frightened. I used to get frightened when I was a child. When I had to go to the market and there were very few people around. And it was evening time, slightly late into the evening, and I used to be frightened. Somebody would pick me up and take me away. It used to happen in those days. So you may mistake a tree stump for a man. Anything, there are enormous number, there are any number of examples. So Descartes says, gentlemen, I can, in thought, deny or doubt the existence of anything. Because though I think at the moment that I am doing Yuktidipika with some of these scholarly people, it's possible that I am dreaming. How do I distinguish reality, what I call the actual waking world, from the dream world? How do I distinguish? Descartes did not know the answer. But Vedanta and Sankhya Yoga knew it. They says that the content of the dreaming world, dream life, dream situation is cancelled, is sublated by the waking life. Suppose I dream that I feel myself a prince and riding on an elephant. I'm dreaming. When I wake up, I find myself, I'm on the bed. Where is that elephant? And where is that my assumption of myself as a prince? Where is that? So the dream content gets sublated. Sublated. What is that word? Sublation? No, what's that? No, sublation. I forgot that word, sublated. Huh? Huh? No, Sanskrit word, which occurs in Vedanta Sankhya. Huh? Badha, yes. Badhita. It's badhita, it's cancelled. I wake up and say, where is that elephant? It was a beautiful elephant, boy, but how foolish I was to believe at that time that I was a prince. I'm still a small boy. So dream world gets cancelled. But the dream as an event remains. The content, ड्रीम का जो कंटेंट है वो कैंसिल हो जाता है, जो ड्रीम में हो रहा है वो कैंसिल हो जाता है, लेकिन घटना के रूप में ड्रीम तो रहेगा. इज अ पार्ट ऑफ माई साइकिकल लाइफ. Just as I can dream even in daytime. When I was young, I thought myself to be in the army. There was some patriotism in me. I studied the stories of martyrs, so the patriotic instinct in me was aroused, and I thought when I grew young, I would better be in the army and serve, do something for my country. So it was daydreaming. It was daydreaming. I used to imagine I'm like that. Even now we all imagine. I imagine I'm in love with that woman which I came across only 2 hours ago. I imagine. I may be in love with her. But where is that woman? It's gone with the wind. I pass by hundreds of women on the lanes and streets of Delhi. And by some women, I'm fascinated. I dream. I love them. What happens to my dreams? Huh? Asannivrattai tadatitamete manorathanam tataprapat. Kalidas says, Swapno numaya numati brahmonu klishtam nutavat phalameva punya. Dushyant says about Shakuntala, when he has rejected her, and then her memory returns, and he says, he was my sweetheart, I rejected. When Durvasa's effect of Durvasa's curse has gone away. Swapno no maya numati brahmana. Was it a dream that I met her? First in the ashram, and then here before my seat? Mati brahmon. Kulishtam nutavat phalameva punyam. Or was it a punya of that a transient shot, of that momentary character, that its fruit is exhausted? Asannivrattai tadatita. All that is gone, never to return. Manorathanam tataprapata. Desires, what are they? Falls of sand on the river bank. Falls of sand on the river bank. So, this is just to illustrate from a famous drama that most of the time we are dreaming. So come back to Descartes. He says, I am now in this situation, but it is possible that I am only dreaming. But if I say, I dream, therefore I exist, it is the most certain statement. I dream. And dreaming means thinking. Dreaming means thinking. Imagining means thinking. Perceiving means thinking. To perceive is to think. When I perceive a tree, I think it's a tree. Right? I think it's a tree. Isn't it? So Descartes brings all kinds of ideas under the umbrella term thinking. Thinking. You are always thinking. Whether you are doing philosophical thinking or some practical thinking. Or taking, for example, a flight for Delhi. You are thinking. He says, therefore, that I may doubt and deny everything, but the doubter cannot be doubted. जो शंका करने वाला है उस पर शंका नहीं की जा सकती, क्योंकि फिर कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन अराइज हो जाता है. You are involved in a contradiction. The doubter or the denier cannot be denier or doubted. The dreamer cannot be doubted. His dream content may be proved wrong, may be falsified by the waking life content. But the dreamer cannot be doubted. Though this about sleep, I would not say a same thing. I suspend judgment about dreamless sleep. I ventured to write a paper on it, and it was published, and I still hold the same views. I have not changed my views, and I would not discuss the topic here. But sleep, dreamless sleep, is something different. I can't say when I am in dreamless sushupti whether I know that I exist. I can't say anything. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because even Shankar agrees, Vishesha Vijnana Abhava. There is no specific knowledge in dreamless sleep. Though there is general knowledge that there is consciousness. I mean, consciousness knows itself. Swayam Jyoti. That's it. Now I leave this topic and move on forward. Move forward. Yes. About Tanma. Yes, about Tanma.
Because the objects,
Yes.
the objects of sensor organ are Shabda, Rupa, Gandha, so on, no? And then some texts tell Tanmatra are these Gandha, Rupa, Sparsha, Shabda.
Yes.
That are the Tanmatras?
I've said precisely that.
Huh?
I have said precisely that Shabda Tanamatra means Shabda as a generic character. Tanamatra. Shabda Matra. Sound Matra. No particular sound. Whether sound of coming out from a woman's mouth, or from a horse's mouth, or from a harmonium, or for a drum. But they are all sounds.
But all
They are all assumed under the category of sound, and that sound is Shabda Tanamatra.
But all of these are objects.
Which, of course,
Are objects, and then how
There is-
and
no,
the matra
no.
are
Yes, sir.
sense
Yes, sir.
organs,
I
subtle
agree.
sense organs.
I agree. Particular sounds are objects. Particular sounds are objects. There is whenever there is a sound, there is a peculiarity about that sound. It's a vishishta sound. Though they are all called sounds. A drum sound is different from a harmonious. And a harmonious sounds different is from that of the tanpura or sitar. And those who are familiar with them, they can recognize. But they are all sounds. A child who does not distinguish between them, are you following my point? Okay. No, you continue with your query.
But in general, all these are objects of the of the indriyas, no? Objects, and objects how can be tammatra? Tammatra, I was thinking, is subtle sense organ, subtle
Who says
indriyas.
tanmatras can't be objects? Ekadashendriyas and tanmatras. Tanmatras may be subtle elements, but they are objects. Who says they are not objects?
Yes, but some.
Jnanendriyas. Chakshu Indriya is connected with what? Rupa Tanmatra.
But when you tell
Rupa Tanmatra, though Chakshu always perceives a particular form, a particular shape, but it always sees shape.
But when you tell Rupa Tanmatra,
Tanmatra
is
much
the
object.
Rupa? Is Rupa?
Yes.
When you tell Rupa Tanmatra is Rupa?
No. Rupa Tanmatra means, let me tell you, well, there is some, I allowed some doubt to remain there. I should have been more explicit about it. I agree. But I'll just take 1 minute. See, Tanmatra etymologically means tat matra. Matra means only. Matra means only. Simply. Merely. Just I say, I'm simply a human being. Manava matra. Manushya matra. Right. That's okay. So, Tanumatra means which is simply, which is in its universality, generic feature, Shabda, which is simply a word, not a specific sound. Not a specific sound. For example, your voice has a particular kind of sound. And if I get familiar with you, after knowing you for some time, even if you are away in your other room, I may infer that it is that lady's voice. It's my mother's voice. It's my father's voice, which is coming from that room. So sounds are different. But sound, as a universal, for example, just as cowness or being a human being is common to everybody. Though everybody, every human being is different from another human being in some respect or another. But just as we are all human beings, in certain very undeniable sense, indubitable sense, similarly, all sounds, all different sounds are sounds first in an indubitable sense, in an undeniable sense. My voice, your voice, all these people's voices, birds' voices, Shabda shuyate. Shabda shuyate is sometimes in the Sanskrit dramas the word occurs Shabda shuyate. Kasyat Shabda shuyate. Some sound is coming from somewhere. Who can it be? Is it an elephant or something else? But some sound is coming. There can be undifferentiated sounds, undifferentiated noise. I'm sorry I'm having to dwell upon this theme a little longer than I should allow myself to, because the time at our disposal is too short. But since these are important matters, let me tell you one thing. For example, if I'm hearing you here, and if I know your language, for example, the English language which you speak and which I can somewhat understand, so I'll say it is this lady's voice, or this is what she is saying, right? I can perceive her words, and I can say these are the words she spoke, right? But if suppose there are only about 20 feet away 15 men or 15 women or 15 men or 15 women talking to each other, and there is no distinctness in their voices. Sound is manifest, but the distinctness, the peculiarity of the words, the particularity of the words with the specific features is not distinct. I would simply say these people are making a noise. Noise is a sound, but it is an undifferentiated sound, because the peculiarity of the individual sounds of those 20, 30 men and women has gone for me who is staying here, who is standing here. Are you following my point or not? Yes.
I understand now, I am not is right. Shabda is the faculty of ears, of the indriya. Tanmatra is the faculty to get the...
Tanmatra is not a faculty.
But then...
Tanmatra is not a faculty.
You tell is, suppose Shabda Tanmatra is
Tanmatras are those objects which have those objects entities. I should say entities, because use of word object may confuse you. Entities. They are entities of such sort that they do not have any specific feature, any speciality about them, except that they are. Tanumatra. Except that they are. Sound is just sound is. Otherwise, why should you call all those different counts of sounds? Why should you count them? All different sounds of sounds, whether of birds or of men or women or children, under the category sound. Whether should you say that fan also has a form, blackboard also has a form, rupa, this book also has a form, this glasses also have a form, they all have a form. This is rupa tanmatra. Rupa category, let us say category, to facilitate somebody's understanding. The category of rupa.
Okay, I must sing.
There you do, are you following? Huh?
I follow in general, but suppose in human being, these 25, 24 tattvas, we understand what is buddhi, we understand what is manas, what is indriya, but tammatra is shabda, rupa is something outside.
No, shabda tanmatra, sparsha tanmatra, rupa tanmatra, rasa. Rasa is liquid. A medicine can be liquid. Eye drops are a liquid. This water in the glass is a liquid. My tears are liquid. My tears are liquid.
Okay.
So,
In this manner.
this is, what is this? Rasa.
Yes.
Shabda, sparsha, rupa, ras, gandha. And similarly, gandha. See, from gandha comes Gandhavati Prithvi. Gandhavati Prithvi. And the line which I read on the first day, inauguration day, Ya Srishti Sastu Radya Bhagati Vidhihutam Ya Havi Jata Yedde Kale Shruti Vishaya Guna. Shruti Vishaya Guna. Shruti. Which is the object of Shruti?
Yes,
Shabda. And Shabda is a guna of Akash. From Shabda arises the Mahabhuta Akash.
Yes, now is more clear.
Okay. Thank you. That is why, see, all these things, tanmatras, this is not tanmatra. The word is tanmatram. Tanmatra we say in Hindi. To be, to be able to pronounce it easily, the word is tanmatra. Tanmatreshu, not tanmatrasu. Tanmatreshu. Right? Panch tanmatrani. Right, like that, because is a napunsakaling, tanmatra. That, only thatness. What it is, suppose we say that you are, all are. What you are, what means what is your character. Characters mean what is your feature, what is your characteristics. आपकी विशेषताएं क्या है, वो वॉटनेस में आ जाता है. What do you think you are? आप क्या समझते हैं अपने आप को? What do you think you are? You say, I consider myself a brave man. That I exist is one thing, but that I am a brave man is something separate. It separates me from other existents who are not brave. I am brave. Are you following me or not? Or please let me know whether I am able to communicate whatever little I have reflected upon all this time. Am I able to convey something or not? Please tell me.
But I want to share also something that you told previously, because you told
Yes.
in a deep dream, you told it's not possible to know if I exist or no. But according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, dream is one chitta vritti, no?
What I have said, I'll repeat. I do not want to enter into this very disputed topic.
Yes, yes.
I am entitled to have my views, you are entitled to have your views. And same applies to other people. But it's a very disputed topic.
Yes.
I have written on it. If somebody is interested, he can read that article for my views.
Oh.
But I would not discuss them here.
And
Because
also,
at the moment I am concerned only with explicating some of the important doctrines of Sankhya Yoga. So my first thing was to, while explaining Vyakta and Avyakta, also explain Gya, consciousness, Chitta Shakti. Chitta Shakti simultaneously. Because the question arises, how do we know, how do we acquire secure salvation? He says, Vyakta Avyakta Gya Vijnanat. So I thought, let me try to deliberate publicly, in public, about these three entities, Vyakta, Avyakta and Gya. And accidentally, I also happened to say a few words about the self. Atman, Purush. Purush is Chitta Shakti, consciousness. That is why I say, Ramanuj, yes, but there is one thing, yes, I want to add. When you say you are conscious, just a moment, when you say, I am conscious, I have consciousness, what to be? मैं चेतन हूँ. Yes, yes.
I am experiencing
You are experiencing what?
things, words,
Anything.
myself.
It means consciousness of. मुझे किसी चीज की चेतना हर समय रहती है जब तक मैं जागता या स्वप्न लेता रहता हूं. So long as I am dreaming and in waking life, I am always conscious or aware of one thing or another. It may be actual, it may be unreal, it may be imagined. For example, I may be thinking of for example, a sky flower or a square circle, right? Or for example, the first president of the India of Chandragupta Maurya's time. I may think of him. Though I know there was no president. There was also only the king. I may think of him. I may think of the president, as Russell gives the example, the present president of France. No, what's the example that he gives? The present king of France. The present king of France. And there did not used to be kings in France. Kings only used to be in Britain, in England. He says, the present king of France is a well-formulated sentence, is a meaningful sentence, and yet nothing corresponds to it. इस शब्द का अर्थ कोई नहीं है, इस शब्द का विषय कोई नहीं है, अर्थ है, इस शब्द का अर्थ है. अगर मैं इस समय ये कहता हूँ, इस समय ये, if I say at the moment, for example, the present king of India. You know, at the moment there are no kings in India. There are prime ministers or there are Rashtrapatis, prime ministers, Rashtrapati presidents. There is no king as such. Kings are a thing of the, of the past. If I say the present king of India, is that a meaningful sentence or not? Tell me. Is a meaningful sentence, right?
There's no corresponding reality.
But it's a possible reality. It's a possible. See, what are the conditions for a meaningful sentence? That there should be a possibility. It's possible that, that tomorrow a situation comes when we have kings. It's possible. Just as I say, it may rain tomorrow. I say it may rain tomorrow. Is it a meaningful sentence or not? If I say कल बरसात हो सकती है, इस शब्द का मायना है कि नहीं? मायना है. But suppose it doesn't rain. आप कहेंगे आप तो गलत कह रहे थे. You were saying wrongly. Yes, I was saying wrongly. लेकिन क्या मेरा जो वाक्य था, मेरा जो सेंटेंस था, वो मीनिंगलेस था? Was my sentence meaningless? No. I only expressed, entertained a possibility. And the possibilities are related to actuality. It is only a limitation of my knowledge that I say it may rain tomorrow. Had I been an omniscient, सर्वज्ञ होता, मैं कहता कल तो बरसात होगी ही होगी. लेकिन मैं सर्वज्ञ नहीं हूं. I am not omniscient, so I say it may rain tomorrow. And it may not. If it rains, then my judgment is proved correct. If it doesn't, then my judgment is proved incorrect. Simple. What I mean to say is that these, coming back to our topic, these Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Ras, Gandha, these are the 5 categories of objects. Let us use the word category figuratively. Figuratively. I should not be misunderstood. Because the word is tanamatra, and tanamatra does not mean category. Tanmatra means thatness. That it exists, that this exists, that it exists. What it is the glass. What it is the paper. Right? So it's like that. But we know that Shabda differs from Sparsha. If I touch this glass, I'm not speaking a word. Right? If I perceive something, that doesn't mean that I'm touching it. Visually perceiving, though tactile perception is also there. Any doubt about them? Jaya, you have any questions? Yes? Huh? My tormentor?
Because I understood suppose for meditation is needed close eyes, but to see, to hear is needed consciousness, is needed the mind. After, if the mind is not there, eyes can be open, but I don't see nothing. And then also sometimes I don't listen. It's because consciousness or mind is not there.
Sure, I agree. I agree. Then, when we come to perception, we will see that sense-object contact is a special thing. The general things are taken for granted. Nyaya, for example, when says indriyartha sannikarsa pratyaksha. But there are presuppositions. Atma manasa sanyujjate. Mana indriyena. Indriyam arthena. There has to be a soul. There has to be a consciousness. Without consciousness, there can be no perception. But that is taken for granted. That is agreed upon by almost every school of Indian thought. Whoever believes in soul, well, soul has to be there. There has to be consciousness, otherwise there can't be perception. Simple. But there has to be something specific. Even if there is consciousness, there need not be perception. Right? Because unless the sense organs get into contact with objects, with their respective objects, olfactory perception with the sound, tactile perception with something else, with something touchable. So, I can't touch my soul. Can I touch my soul? Though I can say, I swear by my soul. I swear by myself. But can I touch my soul? Can my sadness, for example, I'll come to that event, but for the moment I avoid that. For the moment I avoid that. Yes. Prakriti, Vikriti, we were there. Yes. In this text, there is no, uh, 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 special indication of the karik. Moola Prakriti, Avikriti. We come back to that. Moola Prakriti, Avikriti. I hope that you have fairly, reasonably understood the sense of Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti just matter, just matter, just matter. Undifferentiated matter, right? Undifferentiated. Like, for example, in dreamless sleep, your body is undifferentiated matter at the knowledge level. Am I right? In wakeful life, you know these are your hands, this is your lips, this is your forehead, these are your hair, this is your belly, so on and so forth. But are you aware in Sushupti, in dreamless sleep, where your hands are, where your leg falling? Go you travel in the night and keep awake for 1 hour during midnight and see where men's and women's hands and legs are going. They are not aware. In wakeful life, they would not like to be like that. I sleep like this, like this. I don't know where my hands are. So at the knowledge level, there is avibhakta dasha of the bodily organs. Avibhakta dasha. At the knowledge level. I don't know where my different vital organs or other organs are. I don't know. I'm simply asleep, dreamlessly asleep. I do not know. I am saying again, I do not even aware, I am not aware that I exist. But I will leave this topic untouched. Now, Moola Prakriti Avikriti, Mahadadya Prakriti Vikritayah Sapta, right? I've explained. Mahadadya Prakriti Vikritayah Sapta, which is Mahadadya? Mahat, Ankar, and Panchatanamatra. Panchatanamatra, yes. And then Shodasha Kastu Vikaro. And Shodasha Kastu Vikaro. And then what follows is, yes, Shodasha Kastu Vikaro. Ekadash Indriyas and Pancha Mahabhutas. They are only effects. They are only effects. Mahadadya Prakriti Vikritaya Sapta. Mahat, Ankar and Panchatanamatra are both Prakriti, though not Mool Prakriti, are both Prakriti and Vikriti. Mahat is a cause of what? Mahat is a Prakriti of Ahankara. Mahat is a cause of Ahankara. But Mahat is also a Vikriti, a Vikara, Vikara of Prakriti, Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti. But Moola Prakriti is not an effect. It's not an effect. Shodasha Kastu Vika. Similarly, Ahankara. Ahankara is a byproduct of Mahat. Ultimately, of course, of Prakriti, but proximity wise, cause effect relationship, direct causal relationship, it has only to Mahat. Right? The young man in the last row, are you following me? Okay. So, Ahankar is an effect of Mahat. But Ahankar is a cause of Panchatanmatras and Ekadashindriyas. So, Mahat, Ahankar and Panchatanmatra, these are both Prakriti and Vikriti. They are cause of something else and they have effect of something else altogether. Right? Shodashakastu vikaro. And then there's a category, there's a class of entities, tattvas. That is why it's called tattvantar parinama. One tattva gets modified, transformed into another tattva. Therefore, tattvantar, antar means anya, the other tattva, tattvantar parinama. So, shodashakastu vikaru. I am explaining it in the light of the Yuktidipika, but not reading the specific lines, because then first I'll have to read sometime elaborate Sanskrit sentences, then translate them and then expound them. And you will never be able to move beyond 10 pages in 7 days. So this Shodashakastu Vikaro, Ekadashindriyas, they do not generate anything. They are only generated from something. वो उत्पाद्य हैं, they are a product, but do not produce anything. They are a product, vikriti. Similarly, Panchamahabhutas of this water, earth, etc. What they call Prithvi, up, Tej, Vayu, Akash. These are Panchamahabhutas. But they are vyakta. They are knowable. Is Prithvi knowable or not? Of course, the whole of Prithvi may not be knowable. That need not be the case. If you say, I know what it means to be a man, that doesn't mean you have known the men of all past ages, of the present age, and of all the future ages, and then you will say, I have known man. Then you may say, I have known all the men. But in order to know man, it is enough to meet one man. It is enough to meet one man. My grandson, when he was 2 years old, he went to London and then to some place like Cardiff. My daughter was going to attend a conference there. So he recognized the white men as men, but he noticed the difference. He said, Nana, वहाँ लोग अलग तरह के हैं. Their people are of a different sort. He could see the difference in complexion between the brown man and the white man. नाना वहाँ लोग अलग तरह के हैं. लोग हैं. People are there. He is not calling them animals. Log, people. Their people are of a different sort. Because he also played with some, British children, some children of England. He played with them. लोग अलग तरह के, वो अलग बोलते हैं. They would speak English. He speaks Hindi. वो अलग बोलते हैं. They speak शब्द. They speak. He can hear shabda. And he sees them speaking. He hears them speaking. Shabda. Shabda tanamatra. But he can't understand their words. He can perceive the sound through this organ, but he doesn't understand the meaning of the particular words because he doesn't know their language. This is how we draw a distinction between tanamatras, for example, and between, you know, the specific sounds of so many things. So he says, Shodasya karstu vikaro na prakritir na vikriti purusha. Sometimes they write purusha, sometimes because of metric considerations, and some texts contain purusha. Why is purush neither prakriti nor vikriti? Why?
Because he is untouched.
Yes,
Inactive.
yes.
Because he is away from it, he is untouched, inactive, and he doesn't participate.
No, that is a different thing. It doesn't participate. But why he is not a cause? Na prakriti.
Because he doesn't evolve.
He doesn't?
Remains like that.
Yes, he doesn't evolve. Prakriti. He is not a cause of anything. He does not manifest himself. As a seed, जैसे कि बीज, mango बीज manifests itself into a mango flower, into a mango tree or a mango fruit, right? So, Purush or self does not manifest itself into any object of the world, into any tattva. Ankar or Mahat or Shad Tanmatras or Ekadashendriyas, Mahabhutas, they do not arise from Purush, na Prakriti. And Prakriti does not, Purush does not arise from anybody. Purush also does not emanate from anything. So it's not a Vikriti. Why? Because Purush is immutable. There's no change in the self. There's no change. Parivartan nahi hai Purush. There's no change in the self. Sada gyata chitta vrittayas tat prabho purushasya aparinamitvat. Yoga Sutra. Aparinamitvat. It is not parinami like Prakriti. It doesn't change. Prakriti is parinami nitya. Purush is aparinami nitya. It doesn't change. It's neither a cause nor an effect. Are things clear thus far? A little bit, little bit. As you grow old and you continue to be interested in some of the things past Indian thinkers said, you might on your own, without a teacher, whether of my sort or of a better sort, be able to understand these things. Gradually and gradually, you will understand them as you reflect upon them. And then you will also decide whether Sankhya thought in its essential is right or not. Na prakritir na vikriti purusha. Because the cause is, mool cause is, ultimate cause is prakriti. What kind of prakriti? Avikriti, which itself is not an effect, but is a cause nevertheless, is an ultimate cause nevertheless, but itself is not an effect. It gives rise to effects, but it is not an effect itself. Right? So, and na vikriti, Purush. Purush is not born. Right? Ajar, Amar, like this. But here I'll deal with this question after we have had tea, because this is an important